No, this is great. As I'm sort of following along with my body as you go, um, when you talk about other forces, are you referring to like thumb flick city or like two hand look? Is that sort of the other force you're looking at?
That's by far the most common. That if your shooting hand is pushing the right side of the ball, it's going to go to the left, and your body and your brain over time, at probably a young age, is going to see that evidence or feel that potentially happening and figure out how to compensate. And the most common compensation is that people start to push with their guide hand, pushing the left side of the ball with their guide hand, which will push it back to the right. Now, hoping those two forces cancel each other out and the ball goes straight. And that's why I always say to people, if you want to fix your guide hand issue, if you know you thumb flick and you want to get better at reducing that negative energy, then you should be fixing your shooting hand first. If you try and fix your guide hand first and get that off the basketball, all you're going to do is expose the fact that your shooting hand is pushing the ball to the left. The next most common habit causing right-handed shooters to miss to the left would be the shooting hand is underneath the middle of the ball, but their shooting hand is pushing to the left. So it's on the right spot in the ball, but it's now pushing across the ball. And this is something that I actually do, that I've got limited shoulder mobility historically, and especially these days. And so I get underneath the middle of the ball, but my hand is drifting to the left as I shoot, and it tends to come off my index finger and my middle fingers, or my middle finger and my ring finger is my bad miss. And so my body, I'm trying to pull the ball back to the left, and sometimes I overcook it and the ball goes left. So it's not just where your hand is on the ball; it's also what direction is your hand pushing, and they can go hand in hand, but they don't always.
So you're saying the spin is going to be different when I'm shooting under the right side of the ball versus when I'm shooting from the middle of the ball to the left. That's going to change the spin in different ways.
Yeah, one of them creates more EY rotation. One of them creates more EZ rotation. For baseball people that are, I believe baseball uses tilt and gyro as their expressions for EY would be a tilt to the ball, and then a gyro spin would be more easy. But these are not things that basketball people are talking about yet. So basketball people are going to listen to me and go, "What the hell is he talking about?" So, but 5 years from now, once we've got several hundred episodes in the books, hopefully people will have a better understanding of what we're talking about here now.
I like it.
The index finger, as long as that thumb is spread out, is the middle of most people's grip. Okay? Not everybody. Some people are built slightly differently, but that's a safe assumption to make. So we need the index finger, the pointer finger, to be underneath the middle of the ball at the beginning of the shooting motion, which I believe is the set point, that position where the ball has changed direction, it's stopped moving backwards, and is now moving up and forward in hopefully a straight line from that set point. That's when I need the shooting hand to be the middle of the shooting hand to be underneath the middle of the basketball. So I'm going to create a drill. I would use, if you're familiar with my form shooting drills, you can go back and listen to one of that podcast. I would use isolation drill to hold accountable to just getting comfortable with what does this set point feel like, with high accountability to that small little habit. Then I progress through ABC and slow to quick, just learning to feel what it feels like to have the pointer finger underneath the middle of the basketball at the beginning of the shooting motion.
I've developed this these sets of muscles or whatever, and my jump shot is actually a mess. And I'm pushing the ball to the right, and I am 100% sure it has to do with my posture. 5 times a day, feeding this child who weighs 11 pounds. And so to correct that, I went back to isolation drill because I don't know if my hand was moving up at release or if I was including my guide hand in the ball. Regardless, when talking about having one side of the ball, one side of your hand shooting one side of the ball more than the other, isolation drill was such a perfect reset for me to make sure I'm under the middle of the basketball with the middle of my hand and getting my guide hand off the basketball.
Yeah, and there's all kinds of these compensations that you can create. Probably the most uh, obvious, common occurrence of this cause and effect is, yes, a lot of people point their feet to the left when they shoot. If you jump straight up and down, it's not very much negative energy. You can get away with it. Most people, when they turn their feet to the left, will tend to jump in the direction that their feet are pointed. If they jump to the left, they're creating energy to the left, and they need to create more energy to the right with their with some other body part to compensate. And that what most people do is they release through, and they get the middle of their hand, the middle, or they get the middle finger underneath the center of the ball, which means they have more of their hand over on the left side of the ball, which will push the ball to the right. So you've got your hand pushing slightly right and your body pushing slightly left. And this is the only reason that we isolate things, is so that we have a chance to be highly accountable to specific habits. And if you're simplifying something but not being accountable to a habit, then you're just making your practice easy for no reason at all. And you're kind of wasting your time.
It's an assault on my character every time, but you are right. Again, if you've listened, if you've been with us in this journey, every time this idea comes up, it hurts my feelings only because as a player, I did this every single day. And I was like, oh yeah, this works. You're right. It's not the best way. It is a way. It's not the best way. It's not halfway to the best way.